After what was a terrible game, and I mean, like, from the bottom of my heart, terrible game between the USA and Australia. I'm watching it right now. It's the third quarter. Like, Australia, despite all the WNBA talent they have not been good. They have just not been good in the slightest. And they're about to be now near 30 going into the fourth. We've got what should be the game of the Olympics. We've got two teams. The way they hoop, the way these two teams play, this is going to be such a fun game. You have got the speed and athleticism of France with the live wire spark plug in Marine Johannes versus the ball movement, player movement, discipline of Belgium with not quite the spark plug, but the spark plug in their own right in Julie Van Loo. You've got Julie Van Loo who will shoot literally anything. She is willing to shoot anything. Any single thing she's willing to shoot. But she is a much better passer too. 11.8 points, 2.3 boards, 6 assists. And then if you're looking for France, 13.8, 1.8, 1.8. This should be the most fun game of the Olympics, especially when we're looking at women's basketball, just because of how I think both of these teams are going to give Team USA a bit of a tough time. I still think Team USA win. I just think you're going to have to rely. I just think neither of these teams can match up properly to the two bigs for Team USA, but you just never know. Before we get on to, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Or, well, if you're new to this channel, subscribe. We have got Mick Hoops right now, which is going to be a men's basketball channel. We're currently on 24 subscribers, trying to get to 100 by the end of the day. By the time this video is released, I'll be in the airport, and if I get to 100 by the time I get to my hotel in Leeds, I will upload another video on this channel before the end of the day. So, here we are. This is going to be one of the toughest games, because if you want to look at how these two teams are playing, both of them have their all-world player, their MVP candidate player. France have that MVP candidate in Gabby Williams, one of the best defensive players in the entire Olympics. Heck, one of the best defensive players in the WNBA. She does a little bit of everything. Like, she's leading the team in points, assists, like 6 assists per game, 4.5 rebounds per game as a 2-guard, and 14 points. She can play the 3. She's someone that, again, if she was allowed to play in the W, would be one of the better players in the entire WNBA. They've got her, and obviously they have Marine Johannes, who can go off for 30 in any given game. And Belgium also have got Emma Messerman, leading the team in points, second in rebounds, only 0.8 off, and also averaging 4.5 assists per game. She's averaging 4.5, 6.5, and 24.5 points per game. She's averaging 10.5 points per game more than Gabby Williams. And also, she's doing that while she got benched from a lot of the game against Spain just because, well, they'd won the game. They were up 20 at times and they started to rest her. They tried to give her some rest. She had 30 against Japan, which isn't the most difficult thing to do. But Emma Messerman, there's nobody has ever had 20 points in 6 straight Olympic games. She had 24 plus in 7 straight up until her last game where she had 19. So her 20-point streak is at was at 7. I'm not sure when someone's going to overtake that, because again, what's Aja on? I don't think she's had all 20-point games this Olympics, and she's only going to be in one more Olympics. So unless she goes and averages scores 20 in every single game, and she won't play enough minutes to do that, I don't think. I think there'll be the occasional game where she doesn't. Like today, she's only got 10 going into the fourth. She could very easily, she could drop 25 and a quarter, to be honest. But I just don't see it happening. I don't see USA risking it. So that's Emma Messerman's record. It's probably not going to be broken in women's basketball. But this is going to be such a good game, because you've just got the way they play. France have, like, they've got the athleticism. They're going to full court press. They're going to try force Belgium to get tired. They're going to be relentless over the 40 minutes. The way they play isn't too dissimilar on the defensive end to how the USA men's team play, where they just try to wear you down. They've got bench. Like, they've got a bench. Like, you've got 40 points per game off the bench. They have 40 points a game off their bench, whereas you get 10 for Belgium. Belgium don't have much of a bench, especially with Messi being injured. Like, it's going to be very, very tough for them to keep it up, keep the tempo up, keep the speed up that France are going to instill in them, because the French team won their first 2 games by 20, took their foot off the gas against Australia, and then went out and played a Germany team that they held Satu Sabali to near nothing. Like, it looked like they threw the game to face Germany, and they completely took Satu out of the game. Niara Sabali did a bit of damage. They completely took Satu out of the game. So this is a team that are going to be confident in taking MMS out of the game. I don't think they will. I think it's going to be very hard to take her out of the game. But they're going to be confident they can. And then there's Belgium, who have, like, they've no Julie Allemande, but they're still the European champions. And France will be thinking that the only reason that Belgium won was because France didn't bring Marie Johannes to the European Championships. So we're looking at 2 such evenly matched teams. Near identical shooting percentages. Near identical free throw percentages. You've got a team that has much more depth in France versus a team that are heavily reliant on their starting 5 in Belgium. 2 teams that shoot the ball at an okay rate. But you've got the running up and down transition speed. We're going to impose ourselves on you type defense of France versus Belgium, who it's just the way the ball moving from Belgium is as good as any men's team. The way they move with or without the ball, the way they kind of have that set where they run a kind of wing pick and roll. The ball gets, if they can't score off the wing pick and roll, the ball gets reversed through the big, who's either looking for the high-low, looking for the cutter on the wing, or the high-low, and if neither an Emeron can go into the pick and roll. That's sort of that motion offense. It is like that basically every European team runs. They run it better. I've seen Germany run that. I've seen other teams try to run that. I've seen Serbia run some sort of a, because they want Jokic at the high post at all times, some sort of like an adaptation of that. They run it better than anyone I've seen. So this is going to be, forget about the USA gold medal game, because I don't see how either these teams beat USA. I think France, because they can somewhat match up to them athleticism-wise, could give USA a hard time, but I don't see it. I think by the time if Belgium get to the final, by the time they get there, I think they're going to be battered. I don't think they'll have much of a chance. But if you're looking at the way this France team is playing, they might have a bit more of a chance, but still, it's highly, highly unlikely. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.